Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, to the special edition Roll Up and Die episode Ideas You Can Steal live from BrigadeCon 2016. For those of you joining us live, thank you so much. There are few greater things in gaming than being part of or viewing a BrigadeCon event live. I love it. For those of you in the future who are watching or listening to this pre-recorded, make sure you check out Child's Play, the charity. You can check them out via brigadecon.org and donate to them, because that is what we are doing here today. BrigadeCon is all about helping Child's Play charity, which helps kids who are going through extremely tough times with things that brighten their day, such as games and other things. So thank you all very much for joining us. And I think we should kick it off with some banter. And I think you had a good idea, Matt, because there were some issues with some of these Hangouts, and that this was your idea for how we can ensure that the people can see us right now.
Yeah, so we've been having some issues with Hangouts where it'll say that we're live. It'll say that we can go live and, you know, that we're playing and stuff, but the people who are watching can't see us or hear us, and it just says that the stream hasn't started. So if you can see us, if you can hear us, I want you to type hot dog in the chat. One word.
One word.
Hot dog.
It's got to be one word, or
all lowercase.
All lowercase.
Oh,
hot dog. And if I see a bunch of hot dogs pop up, then I know we're good.
I don't know why I put you on the spot for that as something you decided instead of just doing it. But I was like, I'm not going to be held responsible for this idea.
There's so many hot dogs.
I will capitalize the hot dog. Nope, all lowercase, doesn't count. Grant.
This is amazing.
Oh, wow.
Look at all the hot dogs.
It's raining hot dogs.
Dude, I'm hungry.
Hot dogs. Hallelujah.
Yes.
Oh, my gosh. Speaking of hot dogs, that makes me think of consuming. And speaking of consuming, I'm about to consume a Red Bull. And it's my last Red Bull, and it's still early on in BrigadeCon, and so I feel like I have the last grenade, and there are 100 bugs. Like I'm gonna take some with me, but I'm dying at the end.
I used to work at a game shop, and we would host regional tournaments for the card game Yu-Gi-Oh! And this was always a big deal for us because it was hundreds of people from all over the state. You know, it was people would even come from like Oregon and Idaho to come and play, and we would always rent out a huge space to be able to hold it. And you know, we were a small game shop. We had like 4, maybe 5 employees at any one time, and so you know, we would hire on extra help to help us judge and, you know, take care of things. But still, it was like so many people. And I remember I was working at the actual store, and I got a call from the regional tournament that was being held down the hallway in the mall. And it was my manager, and he goes, "Hey, we're out of Red Bull. Can you bring a pallet of Red Bull down to the regionals area?" And I said, "Yeah, sure, I'll be right there." I go, you know, "Hey, can you watch the shop?" "Yep." So I go in the back, I grab a pallet of Red Bull. They're warm Red Bull. They're room temperature. They haven't been in the fridge. It's a shrink wrapped big cardboard thing of Red Bull. I put it on my head, and I'm wandering down the hallway with it. I get into the regionals tournament, and as soon as these guys, these Yu-Gi-Oh players, spot me with the Red Bull, they're like, "Hey, Red Bull!" And they charge over to me, and I know what it's like to be eaten, to be consumed during a zombie apocalypse, because they're clawing at me, grabbing Red Bulls, and I was like, like disappearing into the crowd with this pallet of Red Bull.
They're pulling your loins out.
It made me remember that.
Pulling your insides out in front of your eyes.
Joke on it! Joke on it!
Oh, goodness. Well, I don't know about a segue for this one, guys, but I feel like we should kick it off.
Yeah.
Let's kick it off.
No, that wasn't saying I didn't want to do a segue. That was just saying I wasn't going to do it. I was just going to let you guys do it.
Alex, I feel like Alex is the king of segues at this point.
Oh man, yeah. So, what could we have used?
Man, my wallet got stolen. You know what else gets stolen? Ideas. Oh, welcome everybody to Roll Up and Die.
Sucks about your wallet.
Actually, no. Artists use lies to tell the truth, Matt. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in to Roll Up and Die, your currently early morning and live BrigadeCon podcast. Just one more reference. This is all about Child's Play charity. If you're watching this live, you'll see the donate to Child's Play button at the top. Also donate with a t-shirt purchase at the bottom. This was Ideas You Can Steal, but Alex had the idea of making it Ideas You Can Pay What You Want For. So if you like one of these ideas, instead of giving us money, don't make a donation to Child's Play. Let's keep that widget increasing.
Right.
I'm happy to report, though, that we're already beating every other BrigadeCon in terms of money raised. So far, so good. We're all killing it. But what I would like all of you to do, listeners, and viewers, this is weird, this third dimension here. I want you to, in the chat, tell us what ideas you want us to create. Make a pantheon of gods. Make a, oh, please don't. God, jeez. No. Make a,
we just did that too.
Yeah, make me a a magical river, something like that, so we can go around and create that idea. Because all of the ideas that we come up with are going to be the people's today, gentlemen. They're going to belong to the people.
That's right.
The people's
There's no
ideas.
post-production. So you guys got to talk. What was that, Matt? Sorry.
I said the people's ideas.
The people's ideas.
So I'm gonna be watching the chat here like a hawk. And we've got We've got one from Stereotypical Strider, Marquise. He says we should make fairy tale ideas, like creepy fairy tale ideas.
Oh.
Let's make a creepy fairy tale idea.
One from Michael Hunt, who says make a Moriarty-style villain, which I think he means Moriarty from Sherlock, not Moriarty, New Mexico, Barker. I'm sorry.
I know.
That didn't even occur.
I appreciate you telling me that, though. Can you make an idea about Barker's hometown?
Yeah, we've got lots of ideas rolling in. I'll try and keep track of them here in the chat, but I guess whatever we want to latch onto, we can just roll with. So the first one was fairy tale.
Yeah,
awesome. Yeah, Matt, if you want to copy and paste any of those in, you can. No worries.
Yes.
But yeah, I like the idea of fairy tale. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take, first of all, my D4 to see how many times we have to go around with this. If you guys want to do it, we'll do it a couple times. If I roll too many 4s, then we're done here. I just rolled a 3. So we have to go around 3 times to create a fairy tale.
Embellishing it, yeah. Got it.
Embellishing the fairy tale. I have my Watto D6 right here with the fate die, the red and the blue.
Nice.
And I'm 1 and 2. Alex, you're going to be 3 and 4. Matt, you're going to be 5 and 6. Let's rock and roll. And 1. Okay, so this fairy tale, I want there to be some sort of innocent-looking monster that eats people, probably children. That's my contribution. This fairy tale is going to center around a monster that consumes the living.
Nice.
All right, so next up on the D6, 1, 2, 3 is Alex. Okay, nope, that's a 5. Matt, you're up.
Ooh.
So a creature that consumes people, I will say that it appears to children as like a life-size version of their favorite toy. And this is someone inspired by a funny video I saw yesterday of a dog whose favorite toy is this Gumby toy, and its owner dressed up like Gumby and came in the room, and the dog was just like, "Oh my God, you're real." So imagine a child like playing in their yard, and they look up and they see like a big life-size version of like this little like wooden doll that they're playing with. And they're like, "Oh my gosh, you're real." And the doll's like, "Yeah, I've always been real. Come hang out with me." The kid follows it and then, gets eaten. So fairy tales always have kids getting eaten in them.
Yeah, true. Alex.
Sure. So this this apparition that appears to them in the form of their favorite toy, it drains their happiness away. So it's like constantly, it lives off their joy and laughing. So it sort of plays with them. And as they laugh and giggle and have fun, it kind of feeds on that, and it sort of continues to drain it from them, to make them, and they slowly begin to sort of get less and less happy until this thing has fed off them entirely, and then it moves on to another victim.
That's awesome. That's really cool. It's very difficult to not chime in and be like, I think I have a good idea here, but I got to let the dice decide. I swear to Jengus, I rolled a 1.
We believe you.
I know.
All our dice rolls are completely fair here.
Yeah, nobody believes me. Yeah, my idea was that let's change it up. This monster eats people, but consumes their life force, like you said. So in the lair of this beast, it's like this massive cavern, and it's like an army of children that are just kind of standing there staring off into space because their happiness and their joy and their life force has been removed.
Oh man, that's creepy. Yeah, I like that. And I think
Cool.
that this thing's true form, like it's sort of eldritch in nature, kind of like
Yep.
it, where its true form is like some sort of just like aberrant thing that we can't even like comprehend what it would actually look like, and so it always appears as like some other thing.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's super smart.
And I know I didn't get rolled, but I just went with it.
Yeah, that's fine.
I know, dude. Yeah.
Well,
At least
Breaking the rules right out the gate. I'm a maverick.
Yeah.
So this is our second time around. All right, so roll for me.
Did you just say roll for me?
Yeah.
Well, that's good because I just got you. It's your turn.
So in this cave, there are sort of runes sort of carved on the walls, and some of them are words and some of them are things, but they're all expressions of different stories these kids have heard that it has absorbed, and they all sort of like seem to flow along the walls to the back of this cave, where there is a very, very small crypt, not big enough for an adult, way in the at the far little recess of this cave.
Awesome.
That is awesome. I'm writing all this stuff down because we're going overboard with the 3 times around.
We are.
Overboard. Right, there's a crypt at the back of the cave. And what was going on along the walls?
Oh, they're basically little snippets of bedtime stories that they were told as children were told, all sort of written out.
Cool. That's incredible. And, well, hold on, Matt. You got an idea. You went out there and you were like, "I'm just gonna."
Yeah, I just threw it out there. So skip.
Yeah, so I just went after him, man. So this is our third time around right now.
And this is our third time around.
Yeah.
I just don't want Matt to get away with cheating in public. I think the people deserve it.
I think it's
people
wrong.
deserve honesty and integrity in the Roll Up and Die studios.
I get away with enough when we're recording the podcast.
Shoot, I just rolled Matt 5.
No, I give up my.
No, you gave up. You gave up the last one. You can go again.
Okay, so I think that the only way to, or rather, the best way to kill this creature is to, trying to think of a cool like weakness that it could have. What if it is?
Someone in our chat had a really good idea. This might not be your idea, but I just wanted to point it out because this would be a good idea. That the monster was some sort of lich, and these children were its life force now.
Oh,
because
like they're the
monster literally. Yeah, exactly. So the only way to destroy the monster would be to destroy the kids.
Oh boy,
which is absolutely dark and horrible, and not what we should.
Super dark and horrible.
But if you like dark and horrible,
and horrible, and you want to go that route,
that is a variant ending.
Exactly.
Yeah,
if it's something you think that your players wouldn't be super squeamish about, then you can absolutely do that. I killed a bunch of kids in a Star Wars game, so it's all good.
Hey man, Anakin did it too.
I know. I did what was necessary for Great Mandalore, but if you want to go with something a little bit less like dark, maybe you have to destroy the toy of the form that it's currently in, and it'll switch forms, and you have to destroy that toy, and then it like switches, and you have to destroy that toy, and once you do that like a certain number of times, I don't know, like it starts to wither and die. You could have an encounter where there's all these toys in shelves along the wall, and it switches forms, and you have to find the toy while you're fighting it, grab the toy, destroy it, it switches forms. And so it's constantly, you have to sort of think on your feet. It's almost like a puzzle while you're fighting the monster.
Yeah.
That's nice. That's a really cool. It reminds me kind of like a video game, like a Zelda type of thing.
Yeah, where it's like, now I'm in this form, and you're like, oh crap, where's the toy? Like,
so you roll over to the shelf so you can get to the toys because you roll faster than you walk. Exactly. Crushing pots along the way.
Exactly.
That's the life. The Link life.
It's still going to be kind of grim at the end, though, when all these kids, like, if they come out of it and they see all their broken toys in the ground, like,
hey, you broke my toy. We're like, hey, shut up.
Yeah, that's
saved your life.
That's really what you're upset about, kid.
Right.
That's the sad part about all this.
Hey, for a kid,
I rolled a 3, so that's me if I'm 1 through 3 and Alex is 4 through 6. So I am going to say that the bedtime stories are being read to the children as are used as a way to keep them docile. Because you can remove all the joy and humor and life force out of a person, but the rage and the fury stays there. So the kids need to be need to keep in a dormant state for this creature to be safe. And so these bedtime stories are keeping them mystically and unnaturally just dazed, like a fever dream.
All right. So last one, I think.
Alex, yep.
All right. So
it's got to be about the crypt, right?
Oh yeah, absolutely. the real twist at the end is in the crypt are the bones of a child, of course, and this child has these fine clothes around it, jewelry, these expensive jewels placed over the eyes, but holding in his hand is the creature's true form, which is a teddy bear. And that's because this lich was born not out of the desire to be immortal, but as a response to his death and his torture, because he went through this horrible abuse from the king, who was trying to get rid of a rival, and so he was ultimately locked into this crypt alive at the end of all this, and all he had was his teddy bear, and that's what he focused on to stay alive. And so he continued to live on to this teddy bear, and he was trying to come back to life by draining the happiness, because he had no happiness left, so he couldn't help but to feed off any happiness he could find.
Oh my
God! He wasn't doing it out of maliciousness.
Awesome.
He was doing it out of just pure survival instinct.
That is incredible. That is awesome. And I wanted to say that Uncle Riotous in the chat has said a really awesome idea. Whenever the monster changes to a new toy, the child whose favorite toy it is starts laughing. In the sea of silent children, that one child starts giggling, and I'm like, oh man, son.
Yeah, I love that.
And so take that, ladies and gentlemen, run away with it.
And just as a side note, how creepy would that be? Like, if you imagine a movie scene or something like that, where you're fighting this horrific beast in this cave, this dark cave with echoes and all this other stuff, and all of a sudden these little kids start laughing around you, giggling.
Yeah.
That'd just be the eeriest thing ever.
Kids giggling, period, bro.
I also have this like image in my mind of like the last scene where it's like the adventurer's like setting this like dirty teddy bear like in a vault somewhere, and just like lock it, like, or like music playing as the vault door just closes, and the last thing you see is just this bear's face with its like uneven button eyes, just like
the deep reverberating walls.
Yeah.
And then it goes completely dark, but then you hear some movement, and that's where it ends.
Right.
It's gotta leave room for the sequel, man.
A little laugh in the darkness.
You could do a modern adventure with this and have the bear be a Teddy Ruxpin, and it just talks to you through the tape in its chest, and it's like, do you want to play? You know, that kind of shit.
Too scary for me, man. Teddy Ruxpin is already. I don't need that in my life. Actually, the next question was make a Moriarty style villain. And from now on, what I think I'm going to do is roll a d6 and just like move down the list you've got, and just pick ones that we haven't done yet. That
That's
way,
fine. Yeah, and I made sure to include people's names with their suggestions as well.
Perfect. So all right, Moriarty style villain. No, Moriarty style villain. When I say that, what do you guys think? Just so I know we're all on the same page.
Well, the features of Moriarty were number one. He was as brilliant as Sherlock Holmes. That was kind of the point.
Okay.
He needed, he was the his arch nemesis. The second thing is he worked almost entirely from the shadows. He almost never came out in the open, unless he was absolutely driven into the open, which is kind of his thing too. So so I mean those two things alone are critical. He again he had the same analytical mind as Holmes, but he turned it to crime. And it depends on kind of which version of Muse. But if we're going by the original Conan Doyle, he was he was so brilliant that Holmes thought he had to sacrifice his own life to end him, because that was the only way he could think to do it. So yeah, that's kind of the gist of the villain you're looking at. Someone who's absolutely brilliant and and works from the shadows. He's not the typical. He's not someone you're going to be necessarily fighting at the end, like a big boss kind of situation. I don't think.
Yeah.
No, but you're gonna face a lot of his goons, maybe.
Right.
Yeah. Well, and that's a really important facet too. Is that third point that you made, Alex, where it's like he drives. This villain would drive characters to potentially harm themselves. He doesn't even have to touch them. Like that's how brilliant.
That's awesome. Okay, cool.
I mean, if you want a good example of that in a modern setting, if you think of Jigsaw from the Saw franchise,
nice,
you almost never saw the quote villain, and but he was brilliant, and he set up these intricate puzzles for people to solve. So that he was very Moriarty like in that way, at least.
As Matt L in the chat just said, Moriarty was just as brilliant as Holmes, but wasn't constrained by morality.
Yeah.
And I always love that idea for the nemesis, that the nemesis in a way is the same as the protagonist. I feel like that's always good. But before we get off on the tangent, let's build one.
That's right.
I just wanted to make sure that I knew what I was getting into, because I didn't want to be like, this guy looks like he's from Moriarty, New Mexico. He's walking with it.
What do they look like besides you? I mean, I know what you look like, but is that
lots of overalls?
Lots of overalls. I was wondering if you were the quintessential Moriarty.
Still rocking, yeah. We're like 40
overall holdouts down there.
DSL just came out a few years ago, and people were like, "Oh my goodness,
Connie, grab my overalls.
This phone don't have no buttons on it." Okay, all right. I'm gonna roll the die now.
All right.
Okay, that is a 2. That is me. So Moriarty is going to. This person we're creating is going to be named a code name. In our pseudo-futuristic setting that we're doing. And that code name is going to be, we'll say, we're actually going to make that code name Sherlock as an homage.
Okay,
cool. Next up is going to be Alex.
All right, so you said it's pseudo-futuristic, so...
whatever that means to you.
Yeah, I'm going to say that this is sort of a... kind of a Blade Runner like setting then, with there's some technology that's more advanced, but there's also those dark gritty places that have just been sort of built upon, and it's not quite dystopian, but certainly headed in that, it could be headed in that direction. But anyway, so this guy, this Sherlock, Sherlock is the name of a company actually that created this new software that is intended to sort of open up the internet to be more cooperative and more insightful, more intuitive when you go online. It's sort of kind of like Google, what kind of things that Google does to analyze your searches, but it does it to a much greater degree and personal. This thing reacts to people who access the internet as personal. So this is called the company is called Sherlock that created this, and it's their tagline is something like we deduce the impossible or something like that.
Okay, cool. I like that. I really like that Sherlock is a company. That's a really, really good way to drive home the setting. Or that software. Matt.
So I think that, Alex, you mentioning that it's like a Blade Runner type setting really appealed to me. So I think that, having it be a corporation, that's a really cool idea. What if the corporation is sort of like managed by someone who is at least partly cybernetic, who uses this software in their own mind to bolster their intelligence and basically just be a fountain of knowledge, and can just look up things, like instantly use satellite images, like just like completely plugged in to the internet and completely unstoppable in terms of like mental challenge and mental obstacles.
You've been watching a lot of Black Mirror?
Yeah, somewhat, a little bit. I may have binged all 15 episodes or whatever in 1 week.
Dude, I don't know how you did that emotionally, but I love the cybernetic. I love that that's how this person or company stays on top of things and stays ahead of their rivals, because they're jacked in. They know everything that's going on. I mean, they're like, they have all of the information constantly running through their own filters, so they can know things about people before that person knows them, and things about market crashes and other things. So I imagine that's how they stay brilliant. So now we're going to go around one more time, because I rolled the D4 but I didn't say it. We're going to go around one more time, and I don't know, maybe come up with a goal for this person. Matt, that's your 6.
So I think that I have a cool idea for like a scene. Maybe the characters are encountering this specific individual for the first time, and they're getting ready to like bring him in or take him down or whatever. And he kind of like holds up a hand and says, I wouldn't do that if I were you. How is, your wife, by the way? I see that she's driving down the I-5 right now. Looks like she's in a red minivan, and he's like using satellites to like find like the internet to find out where like your loved ones are, like your friends, your family, and basically just being like, I know where they all are, and I can do some pretty awful things. So I would think twice if I were you, and basically just like leveraging pretty much everything against the characters and making them go, now hang on, wait a minute, maybe we should think before we just jump on this guy here. We got to do this like smartly.
That's awesome. Okay, that one's me. The only thing I'm going to add, and it might be changed because it might be, I know, a little too late to change this, but I think that there's this idea, and again, Black Mirror is coming to mind, this idea that every single person who works for this corporation, which is this corporation / crime syndicate called Sherlock, every single person who is employed because they're being blackmailed by the company. And so they have to do this certain thing. And once they do it, then they're released of the blackmail, everything's destroyed, and you're good to go. As long as, you don't talk about it or anything like that.
Oh, man, I love that.
And so everybody is just doing their job until they get to go free because they do it.
Like the head of Sherlock has something on everybody. Everybody that he interacts with or knows, he has something on him.
Yeah.
And I imagine that he still maintains his integrity. He does destroy the evidence and stuff once they complete their duties.
Yeah.
So some people actually volunteer to stay on.
There's a little of honor to it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I love
that. That's really cool.
I love that. Man, it's sad that the pig episode is the first episode, because that's the only one people remember. They're talking about that in
Black
the chat.
Mirror? Yeah.
Yeah. I liked the episode, but I know I get it. Alex,
I liked the episode too. The funny thing was I accidentally watched the first episode of season 3 first, because not realizing that it was season 3, and I was
it's a social media one.
People had told me what the plot of the episode was, and so I'm halfway through this episode that has nothing to do with pigs, and I'm like, Where does the pig come into this? When does that happen? I'm halfway through this episode. But I'm an idiot, so
it's the social media one. That's the funniest episode for you to get that. Make that mistake on. All right, Alex, you're up.
All right. So
This is the last one.
Okay. Well, since we started doing this for a game, I'm going to say that the main characters are contacted by Sherlock, and they are, but it's sort of a different flavor of Sherlock. In other words, it says it's Sherlock, but it's acting differently. It's not acting like it has in the past. And so what I'm thinking is that when he created this interface that was so brilliant, the interface itself has sort of begun to become self-aware, and it doesn't like what he's doing with this knowledge. So this AI that's built within the software is sort of trying to isolate itself and work against him.
That's a really great idea. So like
so in this case, the AI is actually the good guy.
Yeah.
Which is kind of a flip of what it usually is in most sci-fi.
It's become sentient. It has the ability to kind of create itself. So maybe like it's building new files and stuff and reproducing and growing, but it needs the player's help.
That's right, because this guy has access to the physical world. It doesn't yet. It can't make physical effects. So it contacts the players because it needs them for specific reasons.
That's
cool.
Such a good idea. And there's so many ways you can go with that. Like, okay, what if you succeed? What is this new AI power going to do with its power? You know, what does it see as the perfect world? You know, or if you don't like the idea, you can always make all the characters just be people who are being blackmailed by Sherlock, and that they have to complete this mission.
Yeah, that's kind of neat thing too, though. Is this AI has sort of created his own little army of people that do what he says, but they do it for good reasons, whereas the other ones do it because they're being blackmailed too. So it's a cool kind of mirror image.
Yeah, that's really neat. I like that.
Someone said, so neither the AI or Moriarty or Sherlock have a firewall. I'm thinking. Well, first of all, it's futuristic.
Top of our heads, man.
Yeah, you never know. But
now they're running McAfee.
Yeah, maybe it's just not updated yet. Yeah, that's what it is. They're running McAfee, and I didn't want to pay for the next year.
He's got the little red notification down on the taskbar. It's like your computer's unprotected. He's like,
it's been 3 years. You've been telling me that for 3 years. Oh my gosh. All right. So the next thing down on the I'm going to roll this d6. Let's see. 2 from there. 1 and 2. Thomas C says anything to do with a zombie apocalypse game. Do you guys want to make a quick one-time around zombie game?
Yeah, let's do it.
Oh, yeah.
All right, cool.
Alex is like, nah, I don't really like zombies.
Oh, man. Alex is so excited. I'll roll to see how many times we go around. 2. We're going around 2 times.
All right.
Oh, my gosh. All right, that's 1. That's me again. I want the zombies to I don't like the idea of zombies being not coherent about what they're doing. I love the idea of a zombie. Well, no, you know what? No, let me change it up. Let's go with the old style of zombies where you're not necessarily undead trying to, eat each other. But like in the old movie, the old now public domain movie, White Zombie, all these people are just transfixed by voodoo and into like operating this machine. So I like the idea that we're going to use that type of brainwashed zombie instead of the more modern day, tear Matt's loins out to steal his Red Bull.
Right. Classic voodoo zombies. Cool. Wow. I like it.
Nice.
All right, cool. Awesome. I'm going to roll again. And we got Matt.
So man, it's because I have Black Mirror on the mind. It's so hard to not go just technology with it. Be like, there's a program that turns people, it's called voodoo, and it turns people.
So so the zombie's doing this pig, right? And
and that's where the episode ends. So that's crazy. No, so let's go non-modern with it. Let's set this in like fantasy, and let's say that these zombies are still living people. They're transfixed by this certain kind of magic. And let's say that the person behind it is a disgruntled woman from a small village who uncovered a book out in the woods. She found this book and has been studying it and learned the specific enchantment to be able to do this to people and basically control their minds and turn them into zombies.
Nice.
Awesome. Disgruntled woman out in the woods. We don't know what she's disgruntled about yet, though. Probably
she's disgruntled.
the price of eggs. That was a dumb joke. But you miss 100% of the jokes you don't make. One is going to be Alex.
All right. So the way she controls them is she actually kind of grows these worms beneath her skin, and when she infects a victim, she essentially she comes up to them as this sweet little old lady, and she hey, they like to put their hands on your face. Oh, you're so cute, such a good boy. You're so nice, and as she's doing that, these worms go up the nostrils of the victim, and kind of these parasites enter the front of the brain, and because they're essentially part of her, they sort of she gets some sort the ability to not only command them but actually sort of if she puts her consciousness, she can be aware of them as well.
Oh, cool! So she can see through she can perceive through their senses.
Not all at once, but if she decides to focus on one, she can share its senses for a while.
She treats them like her children too.
These
little creatures.
Oh yeah.
Oh, such a nice
It's
boy.
not my turn. I have an idea, but it's not my turn. Roll for it.
Okay, hold on. You're 5 and 6, Matt. It's a 3. I'm sorry, Alex. You're first.
All right.
We gotta obey the rules.
I will pass to Matt because I know what it's like to try and hold on to an idea. So
Yeah, no kidding. Alex,
come on, go for it.
I also meant we don't break rules ironically. So
Yeah.
I love the idea that that she thinks of them as her children. So I think whenever the players hurt or kill one of these voodoo zombies, she wails and cries, and maybe you can hear her cries through the mouths of all these zombies that she's controlling. They all just they cry whenever one of them dies. And so instead of I killed a zombie and it just falls and they keep coming, it's like you killed a zombie and they freak out because one of her children essentially just died.
wow. I like the idea that every single zombie is one of these little worms that reaches the core of the brain first and takes control of the reptilian brain that's motor skills, just so this zombie can do whatever work that this woman has for them. I probably shouldn't have said that. Well, I just rolled a 3, so that's my idea, that one gets to the core of the brain. And but I think I feel like it would be important to add the quest or the plot hook or something in. But I think that we always make these creepy ones. We're straying away from the voodoo idea, but I think that she's constructing something. She's using these beings to construct something. I just don't know what it is.
Oh, great.
And that's Matt. Oh, that's Alex.
Yeah. That's right. All right.
Oh, wait a second. What? Oh, yeah. Okay.
Because I gave mine. That's fine. All right. So what is she constructing? She is So I guess it would have to tie into what turned her into the monster she is. So I'm gonna say that her village was wiped out by a nearby town that mistook them for bandits, and the whole incident was sort of covered up.
Nice.
And so what she is essentially working on is a spell that will essentially bring either that town or the people involved to justice. So she's actually been taking these people from the town to turn into these zombies, and she has to get little things from the town, perhaps to do a spell of this magnitude, and she's sort of been preparing it to create this kind of thaumaturgical spell that will curse the town essentially. So she's building this curse.
Awesome. That's really cool.
So that's kind of cool too, because if the PCs are sent out to deal with her, they're gonna be like, well, wait a minute, we she's still the one wronged here. Now they have a moral dilemma. What do we do what are we willing to do to stop her, even though we know that the town was at fault for what they did to her? That kind of thing.
Yeah, exactly.
So that's cool.
No clear cut good guy.
Yeah, I love those.
A victim that's turned to rage.
Yeah,
love it. Matt's educating the chat on how to move.
We were talking about moving in the chat. Sorry,
dude. Actually, I learned something. Someone said never pack books in a big box, and I'm like, dude, that makes so much sense.
Yeah, no, it's the first time I moved when I didn't know any better. I had so many books, and I was like, oh, I'll just put them in a huge box, and then it's like, oh, I can't pick this up. this is 400 pounds of books.
Oh, that's right. I'm not a giant. That's right.
Yeah, exactly. No, I love. Nick had a great idea where you take a rolling suitcase and put all your books in there, so you can just roll them. That's so smart.
What works really good for books are those white file boxes. They have the handles on the side.
Yeah,
they're not too huge, but they've got the handles and they've got that good solid cover.
I don't know if you can see them, but next to my door in my office, you can't see them, but there's a ton of file boxes over there filled with all my RPG books right now. So
yeah, I haven't moved in a while, but I swear by those removing books.
Yeah, for sure.
They're also nice and square.
That's awesome.
Perfect.
Keep rolling low on this. We're just going down the list. Gabe asks, a mountain of ancient history, nature bound, what keeps the world alive? A mountain of ancient history, nature bound, what keeps the world alive? What do you guys think he means by that?
I'm thinking, I guess the mountain is some sort of linchpin to the world.
Okay.
Is what keeps it functioning.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah. Oh, that's a good. Yeah. Okay. I got some great ideas. I hope I go first.
Oh, yeah, exactly. I love that avalanche feeling, man. I love that. Oh man. Okay.
I hope we got it right too, because it'd be disappointing if we get it wrong.
I was so afraid I was going to go first again. Alex, you're first.
All right. So, so this mountain is the oldest piece of land in this world. It is, and it is in fact the hub of everything from the land itself, the geology, how the land is formed, to the life that exists upon it. And at the top of this thing is this. It looks almost like a natural extension out of the rock, but it's it's almost this strange tower-like structure at the peak, and that is where all of this sort of reality sort of comes together. Awesome.
Tower structure at the very top.
Yeah.
Cool. All right, I'm 1 through 3. Matt, you're 4 through 6. I rolled a 1. I'm going to say that the magic in the world actually exists in the sky, and this tower is bringing the magic downward into itself, almost like imagine Minas Morgul in The Return of the King, when it's like just drawing that green light, right? And it's always bringing it down, and then that energy is placed into this mountain, right, that is channeling it like Starkiller Base into the world, and that magic is making the clouds form and the rain fall and the world grow. So why this thing was built or how it was constructed, perhaps we'll leave that up to whoever's next on the dice. I don't know. Oh, hold on. It tilted. It landed at half on my mouse pad. I got to roll it again. That's you, Matt.
Wow, I'm so happy. So I think that this tower is called the Ley Line, and it is sort of the greatest honor that a magic user can receive, is being the keeper of this tower. And it's almost like being in charge of a lighthouse. You live there. There's not a ton of work to do, but occasionally you go up and you clean and you just make sure everything's running correctly. And so I imagine it's this big honor to be taking care of the ley line, but it's sort of a boring job. And I imagine the player characters going up to visit the ley line for whatever reason, and they get there and there's just this old man out just trimming the hedges, just oh, hey, I don't get many visitors all the way up here. And they're like, oh yeah, it's the ley line. Let's go check it out. And he's like, yeah, sure. There's not much to see. And it's basically just a big magical lighthouse that draws magic down. He's like, It pretty much does it on its own. There's not a whole lot that I do. I just make sure that nothing goes wrong.
It's like when the elementary school janitor shows the 6-year-old the janitor closet.
Yeah,
and
he's like, this is the sawdust that I put down when someone pukes.
There's so many buckets. It's amazing.
This blue stuff, I
see
spray this on tables after lunch.
a long time ago, I had a world that was created by like 12 sorcerers in order to like save their planet from destruction. And I always imagined that they did it in this sort of way where they channel the energy into a world to power it, like solar energy or something like that.
Yeah.
And that might be a cool route that people take. That's a really cool idea.
That's awesome.
The one we're going to break the rules here a little bit like we never do, and we're going to go with Amanda B's new unique MacGuffins, because I think it'd be cool if we went around the digital table 4 times and just each come up with a random item that should be sought that could be sought out by adventurers and perhaps some sort of conflict.
Yeah, I love that.
All right, this is where the big guns. This is why we get paid so much. This is why people pay us so much money to do podcast.
Parker, don't say that in front of Alex. He doesn't know.
Oh, I've been siphoning it away from Alex's yurt using the ley line. Dead end. All right, 6. That's a Matt.
So unique MacGuffins, and we're each just coming up with one and then moving on.
Sure.
Is that the idea? Okay.
Yeah.
So this MacGuffin is it's a dragon's claw that is inscribed with draconic runes that when placed with the other claws from the same dragon spells out some sort of prophecy. And so it's one of like what, 5 or 6? How many claws do dragons have? I don't even know. But it's one of a number of dragon claws, and when you put them all together, it spells out this very important prophecy for the fate of the world.
Awesome. Very cool. Next is Alex.
Okay. So this MacGuffin is a silver mirror, about 6 inches tall and about 4 inches wide, so it's kind of an oval. And when you look into this mirror, it will reflect certain types of magic, and so it will. Let's say it'll see through any illusion, and it's needed to go through this particular set of caves that have extremely powerful illusions in them that allow you to sort of navigate through. But you have to be able to use this mirror in order to see sort of where you're going to get through.
It reminds me of oh my gosh, Clash of the Titans. Specifically the older one where he's looking through.
In the shield. Yeah.
But I imagine someone looking through the reflection. So my idea is a quill. It's a special quill that was used to sign a treaty that ended a great war, a great civil war. And the side that lost, it is said that the quill was enchanted with this amazing ability to, if we can't politically secede from this other larger power, then we can do so physically. And so the quill is said to, when driven into the ground, separate the two countries physically across a chasm of hundreds of miles. And these characters need to pick it up quickly before it gets into the wrong hands.
Excellent.
Again. Matt.
Okay, so it is a hammer that can create a door in any stone surface. It's a dwarven artifact, and it has dwarven runes on it that say, when there is no way, I make one, or something like that. And you just hammer it on the wall, and it instantly creates a perfect door in the wall. And then you can walk through, and then the door goes and creates a solid stone surface again.
Oh, nice. Cool.
Oh, and the reason why that's important and cool is because it got in the hands of like a rogue who's like not a very good thief, but he's like stolen like just like tons of stuff from all of these nobles, and it's because he's just walking outside of their house and just hitting the hammer on the side of their house, walking in and then walking out with their stuff.
That's awesome. I imagine that the thief has gained some notoriety in the Thieves Guild, and so like all the people are just all up on this guy, like, "Hey, you're so amazing," and he's like, "Yeah." But then once the hammer's taken away, he's given a quest or something. He's like,
"Yeah," he's like, "I'm actually not very good at this."
Curb Your Enthusiasm episode.
Yeah. Oh, I can't do it Thursday. I can't rob that house on Thursday. Oh.
My shoulder's been bothering me.
All right, Alex.
Okay, so this MacGuffin is something that is a quest item to go in for this. It is an iron box with the head of a dead king in it, with a crown. Now this crown will allow the king to not only rule but essentially see all across his kingdom, and to command his armies from a distance, that sort of thing. It's a very powerful relic on the head of this king's head. Now there are others going to get this thing, to get this crown, because everyone wants this crown. But what the party is doing, they're the only ones who know this, is that the reason the king was dead and the reason his head was preserved is because there was a great plague that swept through this ancient kingdom, and this plague was unstoppable. No magic, no herbs, nothing could cure it. It wiped out millions and millions. And the head still contains this plague. So if the box is opened, this plague will be released onto the world again if they don't stop it.
Awesome. Wow. I love plagues. That's like my favorite thing, I think, for if we're talking a global like thing on the climactic scale or massive scale that's just going to destroy everything. Like that to me is the best one, is plague or blight or something like that.
That's going to be a Barker meme soon. Just your face with a quote underneath it. I like plagues.
No, it's gonna be me with messy hair. Plagues, right there on the bottom. That's what it's gonna be.
There you go.
It's okay. So I think
internet, get on that.
Is it my turn? I've lost track.
I think it is.
I guess it is.
So, and I think we should, after this, go to another one.
Yeah.
If you guys are interested.
Yeah, totally.
So, oh man. Okay, so I didn't think about the idea first, like a smart person. So I'm gonna just come up with this idea right now by looking around my room. So I see a sword. So let's make it stereotypical. It's gonna be a sword, but it's gonna be an item that is of very rare value because it is currently being held in a museum, specifically in a museum that was burned down 1,000 years ago. And your team must utilize time travel to travel to the moment where the fire happened and preserve this great item because it's actually going to put an end to a war.
Nice.
That's my MacGuffin. Ancient sword. All right, next one. I'm going to roll this D8. Run through these just to make sure we can get as many as possible. Wait, one.
Hey, we'll do good on time.
That's true. Well, I mean, we got about 22 more minutes, which isn't bad because Matt and I have an AbTab panel at 1 Eastern.
Yeah, dude. We have discussion panel bang bang, Barker. We're going right from one immediately to the other.
Bang! Oh my gosh, I'm gonna feel the same way too after like a food bang bang when you eat 2 meals.
Yep, exactly.
The bang bang. I'm gonna feel ashamed at the end of BrigadeCon. All right, I think we should do what Michael H suggests and create a Warlock Pact Fae/Fiend. My guess is Matt Click's brain just ignited. Like if he was on like a CT scan, you would have seen it light up.
Wait, what was it? A fiend or what?
A Fae or Fiend. Create
okay, yeah. I have.
Basically,
if you go to my channel, A Fistful of Dice, there's videos on both of those types of monsters.
No. Well, it's a pact, right? Warlock Pact.
Well, it says create a Warlock Pact Fae/Fiend. So I think we're creating the Fiend? Or no?
Well, Fiend or Fae.
Yeah.
A Warlock Pact is whatever they get, whatever they.
Yeah, we're creating whatever creature is giving the Warlock their powers.
Right.
Yeah. So and Warlock's like my favorite class in 5th edition. I'm so into this.
Awesome. And the first one goes to Alex.
All right.
Son of a bitch.
Son of a bee sting.
So I'll tell you what. I'll try and save the best bits for you, Matt. So what the way it starts out is his origin story is basically is this this wanderer finds this cave that he's drawn into one night through whispers, and inside he finds this extremely symmetrical oval, kind of oval stone, and etched on it is a series of lines that sort of radiate out from the center, and in the center is a small hole that goes all the way through. So that's how he sort of connects with this, whatever this being is. So I'll give you that.
So is it a stone tablet?
No, it's just a little oval stone, maybe about 6 or 7 inches in diameter.
Okay.
I'll say it's actually kind of circular, but from the side it's oval. So it's kind of more, I don't know what shape that would be, kind of like a torus, but
Okay.
with a little hole in the center, and these sort of consecutive circles carved into it, radiating out, almost like a little, like a wave pattern.
Awesome. Okay, very cool. Next is me. Okay, so the next thing that I'm just kidding. It's actually you, Matt.
Oh, okay.
I didn't even know. It's early, so I didn't know if you'd catch on, but I was like, for a moment, I was just going to keep going between me and Alex and just see how long we can do it.
And I'm like, I can't wait to get in here.
Come on, man.
So I think that this patron of this pact is a Fey entity, and I'm not sure what its name is, but I know what it looks like. It looks like a bearded, like middle-aged man, brown hair with gray in it, and his upper half is like a very like muscular human man, maybe elven man with like kind of pointed ears, but his bottom half is a large, powerful stag, and he has antlers coming out of the top of his head as well. So he's sort of like a centaur-esque creature, but with a stag body instead of a horse body. And I think that he has all of his followers are satyrs, and he sort of controls like a thicket in the Feywild, where he sort of holds court.
That's awesome. Okay, that's me. I imagine that this person is a double agent. I imagine that this person is actually has ties with the Shadowfell, and that this person knows that every single satyr that comes under control of their becomes part of their following is replicated in the Shadowfell as this evil, like demonic creature. And so this person is just trying to channel magic and power through people in order to continue growing their forces, knowing that at the end of the day, when they're finally soon, this person, this being, this entity will be ready to actually switch over to Fiend and invade, the Feywild with their new army in the Shadowfell. Or no, that's probably silly. Invade some sort of location in the Shadowfell with this new army and seize control of
I like
Castle
that, man.
Ravenloft or something.
That's cool. Very cool.
Cool. All right, let's go down. I keep forgetting to roll the D4. All right, 4. We are going to create 1, 2, 3, and 4. Can you do an idea about a modern magic setting that doesn't feel like one of the established TV versions? Let's make up some Harbinger stuff. No, that's not. That's futuristic. Modern magic.
Oh, boy.
So I'm feeling like Dresden Files and such.
Yeah, like urban fantasy kind of stuff. Yeah.
Right, but we can't use anything established. Okay.
Okay. All right. So the first thing I did was use something established to compare it to.
Yeah, I know.
First up is going to be. Oh no, that's me, and I don't know what I want to say. Did either of you have any good ideas immediately? If not, I'll.
No, I want to. Yeah. I actually, Barker, you had an awesome idea for a game a while back that you wanted to run. It was like bank heist parkour wizards. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
You were going to run it using Fate. Maybe we should do something like that.
I'd be totally down with that. Yeah,
'Cause
I
that
like
was a
the
cool
idea
idea.
of a modern day like Ocean's 11, but you have magic users, and it's like episodic, like serial thing, like different heists, different things that they're trying to do. But it plays out like Spycraft. I don't know if you remember that old like game that's
Oh, yeah.
basically Mission Impossible in an RPG form. I like that idea, and that's what I'm going to go with. You know, it's not like a serial like a Law and Order type of thing like the Dresden Files tries to be. It's more of an episodic series of heists that the characters go on and utilize their magical abilities and guns in a modern setting to avoid the police or the law enforcement or whoever's trying to stop them from stealing whatever it is they're trying to steal. So thank you, Matt. That's awesome. That'll be my idea.
Cool.
And now it's Matt's turn.
So do we want to build on that idea, or do you want me to come up with something else?
I think we should build on that. I think we should.
Yeah.
Well,
Cool.
personally, it's up to you guys.
Yeah, no, I want to build on it. I think that there's a member on the team for every like different type or school of magic, and you can sort of use whatever sort of magic system you want, but there's someone who's really good at illusions, and someone who's really good at like destructive magic, and someone who's really good at like manipulating space and time and can like teleport and things like that. And none of them on their own can do the things that they are doing, but they have to work together, very Ocean's 11 style, like you said, Barker, and they have to like coordinate perfectly to pull off these crazy heists. Because I think that in this world, magic is rare but known, and so there are magical protections on like bank vaults and stuff, and so you have to be able to contend with that sort of thing if you're going to pull off a heist like this.
Yeah. You know, modern is a cool idea, but I like the idea of, you know, if it were like 1983 setting. So it's not, so you don't have like, because someone mentioned Shadowrun. There's no cybernetics or anything like that, you know?
Yeah. No,
or
I
even
love
Wild
that. If it was, you could do like a super awesome, like really flavored, like period, like the mid 80s, and have everyone like wearing like fluorescent, like it'd just be awesome. And the soundtrack, you could, if you were running it, you could play just like an awesome 80s playlist while you're playing it.
Machine.
Yeah.
Oh man, exactly. That'd be super. Or I was thinking like Deadlands, Wild West, like Butch Cassidy and the
that would be
Sundance
cool
Kid.
too. Yep.
And
Robin the Wild West bank vault.
Yep. And Alex, it's your turn.
All right, we're gonna say that these guys are hundreds of years old. That they're not contemporary. That or they weren't born in this era that they're currently operating in. They've changed over time. You know, and you know, at one time maybe they were in the West, and maybe at one time they were pirates, or you know, you go back even further, they survived the witch hunts. You know, through the use of their magic. So these are old. These wizards have been around a while. And let me think.
It reminds me, have you ever seen Interview with the Vampire?
Yeah.
A really, really great movie, but one of my favorite parts, that reminds me of a scene where they travel to Europe and they meet the vampires there who are way older than the vampires. And that like whole change of in perspective really reminded me of that. That's good.
Yeah, so we can actually say that there are these enclaves of wizards around, but they are all drawn to each other, like you said. That their power is shared, and so they kind of they're compelled to go to collect together, and so each one, you know, can even be called like a coven, and that's sort of where the name came from. All of these groups have sort of form on their own, and they're older groups and newer groups, and they're all essentially trying to survive in the modern world through various means, whether they're, you know, like in this case, robbing, you know, they're bank robbers. They've decided to steal from the rich, and maybe if you want to make them a little nicer, they give to the poor. They you know, they help out, you know, with that sort of thing. But I want to add something. I keep feeling like there should be some kind of safety valve on it, some kind of meta safety valve, so that the average person doesn't notice them. You know, you know, like maybe some people can't perceive magic, or it does something to their memory when it happens, that they have trouble creating a memory of it, that sort of thing.
You know, you can always back. I was going to say some TV shows. Oh no, you go ahead. You go ahead first.
I was going to say, just sort of explain why no one knows about them. 'Cause obviously in a game, people are going to be doing some extraordinary things in public, and so, why don't people just believe it because, so many have seen them.
Yeah, it reminds me of a conversation that's happened in the Dresden Files, as well as a lot of different fictions, where it's like, if magic exists, why don't people believe it? And then a lot of them fall back on, listen, human beings will find a reason to explain anything. If they see something unnatural, they'll persuade themselves it wasn't magic. So I always like that idea at the very least.
Yeah.
Super cool. I love it. It's like, what's that movie about the magicians that kind of sucks? It's kind of like that, but doesn't suck. The magicians that like steal money. What's that heist movie? It's got Lex Luthor in it.
It's now you see me.
I can't believe I just said that. Now you see me.
Now you see me.
I can't believe I just said
I
I
want to do a
Lex
quick
Luthor
aside here. I want to do a quick aside here and talk about there's a sequel to Now You See Me called Now You See Me 2. Why is the sequel not called Now You Don't?
I know.
It's called Now You See Me. The second one's called Now You Don't.
Seriously.
Who was working at that movie studio who didn't think of that?
Fire that marketing person.
Yeah,
fire him.
My God.
Zero. We don't have time for 3 strikes in this industry. Get him out of here. Now you see me too. Gosh. Okay, so I don't know, final thing. What do you guys want to make up? For our last thing that we go around on. What do you guys want to create? Is anything inspiring you? We could create an idea. We could create our next excuse for why our episode is late. All right. So first up is going to be Alex. Go ahead. You start it.
Oh, our excuse?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, what happened was Barker was on his way home, driving as he normally does, and he stopped by the side of the road because there was a car broken down, and there's this older woman out there. She looked like she was kind of struggling. She was desperately trying to change her own tire, but she could tell she was kind of struggling, and she was having a hard time with it. And he's watching this big old caddy sort of teetering on this little tiny jack that's just like pivoting back and forth, and she's like trying to jerk the lug wrench and take off the tire.
Oh, that's brilliant. Okay. All right, cool. So Matt, you're next. Dang it.
So the reason why we were late is because I woke up and there was a small fire in my bathroom, and when I went to go check it out, I saw that the fire was coming out of my toilet, and so there were natural gases escaping from my toilet and it had ignited because there was a candle in there. And so I had to deal with that before I could come down and start the thing.
Oh gosh, I like that we're coming up with 3 different ones. Now I got to come up with Alex's. And in my mind, by the way, I've been watching a lot of Grey's Anatomy with my wife. It's a good whatever. Anyway, but there's this in my mind. The truck falls in the lady's lake, and I have to perform surgery while on the phone with a surgeon telling me what to do because it's got to be done right now.
That's what I was thinking. I didn't realize we were going to do individual ones. Otherwise, I would have made you.
No, that's fine. No, that's fine. I love that. But I'm going to come up with yours now. All
right.
Well, I rolled first and then decided I was going to come up with yours. Alex was running late because the 11 a.m. boar hunt. He calls it bare hand boar hunt. It's basically a group of guys. 19 of them, in fact, led by a guy named George and Gothnog. Great partnership. Their bare hand boar hunt went a little bit long because they found an entire litter of of cheetahs, and the cheetahs immediately thrust themselves upon the boars. And Alex, Gothnog, Georgie, which is what he calls them, and the other 18 or 17 people got in this massive battle over these boars against these cheetahs, and they all formed into one massive Gothnog Zord at the very end of it, and fought off the cheetahs individually. And they're all dressed like Power Rangers also.
Huh.
Oh, goodness gracious.
All very valid excuses.
Yeah, I mean, who wouldn't buy that?
I would absolutely buy Matt's. I've been to his place, man. I could see like toxic fumes exploding out of the toilet.
Especially on Taco Tuesday, man.
I'm just like, not again.
Oh, exactly. Well, I mean, we got 5 minutes left,
Yep.
so let's next episode, we're going to be creating a map maker. Or it's going to be our next Around the Town, episode 60, and we're going to do a cartographer. So really quick, let's go around and build, I would argue, just a cartography or a cartography firm really quick for the people. 5 minutes that we've got. First one is Matt.
So I think that there's several different divisions within this cartographers guild. There are the people who do the mapping and the people who do the sort of surveying, the people who go out and discover new things and bring all the information back for the actual cartographers to, complete the map. And it'd be a cool idea to have the player characters potentially be the people in charge of going out and surveying and bringing back these different locations and natural landmarks to the people drawing the maps.
That's awesome. That's really cool. Really good idea to have an adventurers guild kind of centered around that. The map makers. Alex.
Cool. So when they go out on these adventures to survey an area, they are given these magical glass orbs that are suspended by a chain, and what they have to do is they have to perform a ritual in each area to sort of it's almost sort of like takes a read of the land in the area and records it onto this into this crystal, which when brought back to the cartographer, he has like a lamp a special lamp that he uses, that he sits this in a little holder for it, and it casts the landscape onto a wall so they can see it exactly and
awesome.
Copy it almost directly from what the crystal saw.
That's really neat. I love that.
That's awesome. I will finish it up by saying that this cartography firm is called Reginald's, and it recently got a very big check from whichever government it exists in, because they have found a way to take this, map, right? This, this ritual that creates this location and use it from a distance on certain buildings and be able to project it immediately in the field by a sorcerer in front of whatever squad of troops you have. So you can have on like current battlefield readings, seeing everyone move around the site in real time, using this magic. So
so the firm has sort of been hired with this upcoming war that's brewing in there.
Yes.
Now they have to go into the field and actually like risk their lives, where before they were only just like going to these camping trips and picnicking and let's take the reading and we'll go home.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
It's very pleasant. Now it's like we're sending you into the battlefield here. You need to go on. You need to be near the front lines when you use this.
Yeah, the campaign should be called The Small Price for Money, or The Small Price to Pay for Gold, or something like.
Right.
As ironically, because they all got big paychecks, but now, oh crap, we're getting shot at every day, and we're just trying to read these maps. I would love to play that next BrigadeCon.
That would be cool. Start off with the characters being rich, basically. They're rich.
Yep.
They're wealthy. They're established. They're great cartographers. They know everything about cartography. But now they're being sent off as adventurers, and so maybe it could even be a first level campaign. They just happen to have all this expertise in mapping.
Yeah, exactly. So
nice.
Really quick, we have a couple minutes. Someone in the chat just asked, what exactly does crunchy mean? And because I've been there, I'll just quick. The more mechanics and numbers used in a gaming system, the more crunch it is said to have. So a lot more looser freeform games have less crunch, while games with a lot of different books, with a lot of different rules, with a lot of different die rolls have more crunch. So, but on that note, we are about to close it out on time, and Matt and I are going to run. We're going to jump on an airplane to fly to Florida to meet with the AbCab guys in 15 minutes.
Getting on one of those light speed jetliners.
Yeah, one of those really quick ones.
Yeah,
the Lightspeed jetliner would fly us way past Florida, Matt.
Yeah, we'd be like, oh man, we're at the moon.
Oh,
what happened?
We didn't mean to do that.
and you would get there before you left.
Yeah, exactly.
Nice. Well, Thank you, everybody, for tuning in to BrigadeCon 2016, our Roll Up and Die Ideas You Can Steal. Lastly, the purpose of BrigadeCon is to donate to Child's Play. You see that donate link right next to the video. Please hit it. This is ideas you can pay what you want for. Just pay what you want for them and give it with that money to the kids.
Definitely.
Thank you all very much for tuning in. My name is Barker.
And my name is Matt from A Fistful of Dice.
And my name is Alex, aka Captain Gothnog.
All right. So, Matt, I want you to start talking about some rubbish. This is a bad idea. You're just going to talk about whatever, and then you're going to pause for 3 seconds. You're going to say a random word. Okay.
Okay. All right. So I went to the store yesterday, and it was super, super crowded. And I was wondering why it was so crowded and what they were selling.
Oh.
It was cake.
No! Cake!